okay, fine, just let them get married, they were divorced within 3 months because they've already gotten past all the rosy part of the relationship. What I would say instead is that you have to step back and seek rational advisors, like Sheikh Abdul Nasser said, that will let you know if whether or not this is a good idea or not. And if it's a good idea, and if the fundamentals are there and the foundations are there, and you can work through it and so on and so forth, then it's better for you not to make a long-term mistake, something that's going to damage you for the rest of your life, just because you made a short-term mistake and it's going to hurt you, to get away from that. Man taraka shay'an lillah awadahu Allahu khayran min. You leave something for Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you something better than that. So look, if you've been in a relationship for a very long time and you really feel bad, you want to make tawbah, take a step back, ask Allah sincerely for forgiveness, then try to approach it rationally, seek advice from people, whether or not you think this can be a good marriage or not going forward. Don't try to just take the pill that's going to make you feel good now and let you get married and then everything falls apart because you did not. Marriage is a rational decision, marriage is not an emotional decision. It is supposed to be a rational decision. It's not supposed to be an emotional decision. So that's the point here. You look for compatibility. What is the main reason that people fall apart in relationships? Compatibility, correct? Lack of compatibility. You look for compatibility. You can't find that if... All right, I'm just going to stop now.
No, I'm listening. I'm totally listening.
You can't determine whether or not a person is compatible if the only thing you've seen are roses and nice restaurants and sneaking off into movie theaters and having conversations where half of the conversation is just fluff.
No, it's
you can't determine.
Yeah, when you're in the situation, you're basically blinded by your own emotions and what's going on, right? So what you're saying is, like we see this in any situation, you bring in a fresh set of eyes, you bring in a fresh, different outsider's perspective. We know that in business all the time. You bring in a consultant who's not in the company, right? Who can. It's not, but there are certain human realities, right? And the human reality about when you are in an experience, when you are experiencing it at that moment, there are certain blinders that you have on. You're just not being able to see the big picture here.
Here's the thing. Here's why I disagree with both of you. And I'm totally okay with disagreeing with people. I have learned to revel in disagreement. It is my dessert. So
how many marriages and divorces have you done?
Oh.
Go ahead, anyway, Imam Nouman.
I knew you when I used to eat the adult meal and you used to get the Chuck E. Cheese meal. Okay, so
Happy Meal?
Yeah, I used to get him the Happy Meal toy at McDonald's. And they used to look at it, this guy is a child?
You're 6'6" even then.
Anyway. So, what was I saying? Yes. So here's what I'm saying. If there are people that are in a religiously not sanctioned relationship, they're dating. And I specifically mentioned they're involved in this kind of a relationship for years. My argument and my problem is that these people are emotionally invested in each other. And they have spent quite a bit of time together. Right or wrong, they've already done that. My personal problem is, why should this be some other man's fault that his now wife has emotionally already invested herself in someone else who's not going to leave her head anytime soon? And this is going to be a problem later on. Like they almost like they deserve each other at this point. Like this is my thinking about this problem. And maybe they don't get married, fine. But at least they should be given the option to pursue this. If you want to add the rational element to this too, they were never rational to begin with.
Black and white?
Huh?
Can we agree that it's not black and white? It's a case-by-case situation.
Sure, it is a case-by-case situation. But this is the problem becomes with these families. They say, well, you can marry anything you want, not her. That's the one. Well, no, that's still very much a possibility. And
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there. Well, I think we're talking about two different issues. I think that as far as the family is concerned, the family has to kind of resign themselves to the reality at this point that these two individuals are so emotionally vested into each other that they're going to be useless to any other human being. Actually, they're going to destroy somebody else's life.
Yeah, that's what
right?
I'm arguing.
No. So I think from the family perspective, that's fine. I think what we're talking about is those two individuals themselves, they just have to understand that the premise, this amazingly solid foundation that they think that their relationship is built on is actually really flimsy and very superficial. That's what we're just saying. Yeah. So maybe you're saying that if they're going to fail, you have to sometimes kind of let people fail to know that they made a mistake.
How many people actually end up marrying their first crushes, or end up marrying the person that they thought was going to be their, prince in shining armor, and that was going to be their, how many people end up actually going forth with that, marrying that